Actually, I just offered. I assumed that they would require my ID, and they confirmed, so I just offered my ID right up front. I think that's just fine, you know. Most of us carry an ID, and I used to think that was unusual that they didn't ask for an ID.
You know, I often just use my driver's license to show who I am anyway, and it's never been a big deal, but, you know, I understand the issues. And
I usually don't bring my ID. Or I usually do bring it, but I know that before I didn't have to use it. I don't know. It wasn't a big hassle for me, but I have my ID, and I usually carry my wallet around with me, so I can understand how it would be a big problem for a lot of people.
It's not a requirement to have a driver's license, so therefore if you're basically saying you have to have a driver's license in order to vote, you're saying they should have an ID rule that, like, my husband's German, there everybody has the same ID card, so everyone has an equal chance to, or has the same, you know, ID here. You know, if you don't drive, why would you be penalized for it and then not be able to vote?
You know, they just asked me if they could see my ID, but they said that it wasn't mandatory, and I had it with me, so I figured I might as well just get used to showing it and having it on me.
Now, how do you feel about the whole asking for the ID thing? I know it was a big controversy.
I just hope it doesn't disenfranchise any of the voters. You know, I don't think it should be made more difficult for people to vote. I mean, not everybody has a driver's license, or not everybody may have a photo ID with their address on it, you know. I mean, people move around, and I hope it doesn't make it more difficult for anyone.
Makes sense. Can you spell your first and last name for me?
Sure, it's Kendra, Kendra, Carey, Carey.
Awesome. And you're from Shorewood?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You know, I don't think it should be made more difficult for people to vote. I mean, not everybody has a driver's license, or not everybody may have a photo ID with their address on it, you know. I mean, people move around, and I hope it doesn't make it more difficult for anyone.